Now to this story. President Trump's efforts to end birthright citizenship are heading to the Supreme Court next month. The case will not decide the merits of birthright citizenship itself, but rather whether the administration can enforce the executive order. Joining us now with analysis on this is CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi. Caroline, good morning to you. Can you help us understand the focus of these arguments and what we should expect to hear from both sides?
Yeah, that's right, Errol. As you mentioned there, the issue actually is not whether that executive order that President Trump signed his first day in office, which did rescind birthright citizenship, which has been a main tenet of this country since even before the ratification of the 14th Amendment, whether or not that executive order will be held to be unconstitutional. The actual issue that the Supreme Court decided to take up next May is this. We've heard a lot about this issue of so-called universal injunctions by district courts throughout the country that have paused some of these more controversial executive orders from taking effect due to underlying issues regarding their legality, whether or not a district court judge can essentially make that decision for the entire country. It's going to be interesting because obviously the underlying issue will be at play here. But there have been a majority of justices on the Supreme Court that have expressed some concern with this practice that, the talking point is being employed more and more by these lower district court judges across the country.
And so, Caroline, what is at stake here then if the justices do side with the Trump administration in ways large or small? And when might we get a ruling?
Yeah, so May 15th, we'll hear oral arguments. But again, the underlying issue has to do with whether or not the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which states that anybody born or naturalized in this country and subject to the laws and jurisdiction thereof, will be granted citizenship regardless of the citizenship status of their parents. And so that obviously, if the court sides with the Trump administration, what they're asking for is allowing states to move forward with implementing this executive order, which would not recognize the citizenship of people born in this country from parents that potentially are not citizens. And that would really create sort of a patchwork and chaos throughout the country. I don't think that's what the Supreme Court wants. And so that's what we're asking for here, to see whether or not these larger constitutional issues can play out and just get a decision on the merits before sort of implementing this patchwork of cases across the country. May 15th is oral argument. I would expect we'd have a decision in June or July. And thereafter, we'll see what they decide. But I think the merits of this case will be litigated much more thoroughly thereafter.
Just fascinating. Caroline Polisi, thanks for that. We appreciate you.